This next article from the New York Post, Governor Cuomo boasts of New York's coronavirus rate amid record low. The infection rate for the coronavirus in New York State plummeted to the lowest level during the pandemic, Governor Cuomo reported Monday. Whew, boy, this guy's a special something, huh? Of the 62,031 tests New York has reported Sunday, only 408 came up positive for COVID-19, or 0.66%. It's the 17th consecutive day that less than 1% of New Yorkers tested positive. That was the lowest infection rate we've had since this started. So this is really great news, the governor said during COVID-19 press briefing in New Hyde Park. It's not just that the 0.66, and they omitted the percent, is one day is great news. It's consistent with what we've seen all along. If you've been looking at our infection rate over the past couple of weeks, it has been below 1%. So it's not an anomaly. We've been doing a good job controlling the virus. Congratulations to people of New York. So what's the problem with this article? Governor Cuomo put a whole bunch of COVID positive people in nursing homes and killed them. You look at the chart. I'm not sure if we've gone over this today. Here's the chart of the percents of deaths, or the number of deaths and percents per age group. And you can see the 75 and up crowd was over 50% of the numbers. So the people who are most vulnerable to dying from COVID, Governor Cuomo stuck COVID positive patients in their nursing home and killed them. The dude literally killed thousands of old people with COVID. I mean, they were probably going to die at some point in time anyways. That's the problem with these death count numbers. They don't tell you, okay, how soon would that have person died? Like a third of these people who died had pre-existing conditions such as cancer, which kills 600,000 people per year. And then diabetes kills about 86,000 people per year. All of the pre-existing conditions kill about 1 million people per year. They're like, oh, well, that the when you look at this, it just means that everybody is like going to be susceptible to COVID, right? Everybody out there doesn't want to get COVID, right? No, well, we'll look at this. Under the age of 15, there was in the first 103,339 deaths, there was only 26 of them that were under the age of 15. These people are not at risk. This is what percentages of the deaths. So the percentages of the deaths of the total population is a very small percent. Let's calculate that up real quick. We're at 160,000 right now, divided by 330, and that is, yeah. Hold on. .048% of the population. Oops, dang it. Okay, so this is the multiplier that we multiply these numbers by. So let's look at, that was the percent of the population that died from COVID. So this, and then you're going to look at the percentage of those people. Now, so that was what, 0.0, if you're under here, it's 0.0013. So let's multiply that. So this is your chance of dying from COVID if you're between the ages of 5 and 14. That's the percent chance that you're going to die. It's a 0.000000819. That's the percent chance that you're going to die. That is really, 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 really small. That means if you're a kid, you don't have anything to worry about with COVID. Why is COVID so deadly? It's because it's a novel virus. Your body does not, your white blood cells cannot detect which cells are infected with COVID, and they attack the wrong cells. It's an autoimmune disorder. It causes sepsis in your lungs from the white blood cells attacking the wrong cells. So, for most of these people, they want to get COVID. Like, they're not trying to not get COVID. If they put it off till next year, they might have diabetes. They might have cancer. They might be a lot older next time they get it, and they might be a lot more susceptible to SARS. So he's saying he did a good job. That it's him who's doing such a good job, right? He's a liar. He's a liar, dude. These things all run in Gaussian curves. Like, if you look at the infection rate here in New York, look at how much of a liar that Cuomo guy is. Look, he's taking credit for the natural herd immunity. He's literally trying to take credit for herd immunity. All of them are like this. They're all Gaussian curves. It's just a property of mathematics that is all over the place in nature. You see these Gaussian curves a lot, and they're some of these. Okay, so when you see, if you see that there was not a Gaussian curve here, it means that they locked down the state and they repeatedly had problems. So had they not locked down the state, it would have looked like New York, where you would have had the pandemic come and then it would have gone, and then that would have been it. Would have been over. Instead, now they have a prolonged pandemic that is devastating to the economy. So we got it in California. If you look at which states are actually having problems, you'll see we have Florida, we have California, we have Pennsylvania. I wouldn't. There was another pocket. I wouldn't really call that a problem. Georgia, definitely, obviously, still having a problem. Washington, no. Texas, yes. Maryland, I wouldn't say that. Ohio, meh. Kind of over. Indiana, over. So the common thread between all of these states that are having COVID outbreaks are they have large cities run by Democrats, and they are all places where people sit inside in the air conditioning. See, they keep saying it's like, you got to wear a mask. You got to wear a mask. You got to wear a mask, man. Like, but they completely neglect the fact that about 50% of the people get COVID before they even have any sort of symptoms. And they get it from people that they're talking close to or that they kiss. And the air particles go in and they inhale them, and it goes in their lungs, down into your lungs, and then it gets there. If it goes into your saliva, probably not going to, you can get infected through your saliva, but it usually is through the inhalation of the droplets. That's why they're asking you to wear a mask. But the problem with this is that it doesn't stop COVID at all. Most people get COVID before they know it, and they do so in a house when they're talking to people. And there's nothing that wearing a mask can do to save you from that. You're not going to sit around your house in your air conditioning and wear a mask at your house. That's insane. There are people sitting around their house with masks on. I wish that they would have watched this channel, because you're insane. That is straight up cray as fuck. That is so crazy. You actually sit there with a mask on in your house? Holy shit. You are crazy as fuck. So the other problem with these masks is that it increases the suicide rate dramatically. About 50,000 people kill themselves in the US each year. And then when the pandemic hit, that rate increased by 356%. And if that rate keeps going, it will kill as many people as COVID this year. So there's other ways that you can die from COVID other than getting COVID, such as being forced to wear masks, because you do actually have to reproduce still. It's not like a thing that goes away. There is this thing called reality. I'm not sure whether or not you are aware of that it's actually there, but it is actually there. And in this reality, you have to have 2.1 kids to maintain your family line. And if you don't, then your genetics will not be propagating through the gene pool, and you will die. That's the way genes work. So if you wear a mask and it's preventing you from meeting women because you can't talk, you can't see people's faces, you're disconnected. Like I went to the grocery store the other day and I saw a good friend of mine who I hadn't seen. We used to play in bands together. I mean, I should have recognized this guy. Like, good person, love this guy a lot. And he had a mask on, and, you know, it had been some number of years. He had some gray in his hair, and I did not recognize him. He's like, "Oh, hey, Kale, huh? Oh, love this the stuff you've been posting. Those things are hilarious." And it really hit me at that point in time exactly how isolated and we become because of these mask mandates. Like, this whole thing is insane. As a young person, you don't want to avoid getting COVID. You want to get COVID as young as possible so that your chance of dying is this crazy small number we saw in the calculator earlier. The one that had 0.0070, 0.70s and 8 at the end. You want that number. That is the number that you want to, that's the percent chance that you want to take a risk on. You don't want to take a percent that, if you wait another year to get COVID, it will mutate. The next mutation will be far deadlier. In the 1918 flu pandemic, the Spanish flu pandemic, the reason why so many people died was because they didn't have, they had never had that strand of the virus before. But the people who did survive, many of them had different strands of the flu before that. This is why older people are at a lower risk of dying from the flu than younger people. It's because younger people, their immune system can't detect the flu. There's two ways that the virus can kill you. It can replicate itself so many times that it kills the cells in your body. That would be what flu is doing to the young people. Or you can have an autoimmune disorder, and the cells can start attacking white blood cells can start attacking healthy cells and kill you through shutting your organs down. I modeled this in a computer with an AI project. That was my project in engineering school, was to build a simulation of the human immune system. So that's how I know so much about virology. I've studied it in detail in engineering school. So Cuomo, man, this guy's a snake. Most of these Democrats are snake. I'm not saying they're all snakes. Vast majority of them are complete snakes. They're brainwashed pawns. They don't think for themselves. They'll believe anything a scientist says. Absolutely anything that a scientist says. So talking about scientists. Let me grab another article.